All right, thanks everyone for coming to our masterclass, to my masterclass today. We are talking about being authentic in your business. And I'm assuming that if you're here, it's because you're running a very soul-led business. I tend to attract introverts. I think I know everyone here, and you probably know me, so I'll keep it a little quick. I am Camille Miller. I'm just looking. I am a business strategist, and I work very specifically with soul-led entrepreneurs that know they are meant for bigger things. I teach business through a lens of soulfulness and abundance, and I take all the things I learned in business school, and then I make them real world for us because we are different. I think there's a huge paradigm shift that's happening in the world right now, where many of us are going to things that are truthful and authentic and real. And it is my belief that when we hold that authenticity, that is when we really attract who we need to attract in the world, and we're not out there selling ourselves all the time, which is completely exhausted. When I feel like I constantly have to hunt for things, I'm exhausted by it because it's very fake to me. It's just not who I am. So I find it really hard. So if you find yourself hunting for people, you are probably not in alignment with who you are. So a lot of what I do is talk about lifestyle businesses and how we do things in a way that just feels really good for all of us. In my spare time, I do teach MBA students global business strategy. And I've been working on a couple of things in entrepreneur programs that I'm going to share with you later towards the end of this. But it has me like thinking of all these things as I teach because I love teaching. So first I want to start off with quickly having each of you introduce yourself and what you do. So I know who's in the room and everyone else knows who's in the room. We're not going through dissertations here. I'm talking like 30 seconds, but I do want to hear why you chose to show up today and listen to this class so I can make sure that I answer anything that comes up. Does that sound good? All right, we will go one by one. Hold on, I'm gonna put this to gallery so I can see everybody. Dr. Catherine, why don't you start first?
Good morning. Happy to be here. It's still morning in my world. And let's see, I'm a naturopathic doctor in Oakland, California, and I'm in private practice. And I always appreciate what you have to share with us, Camille. But I do like to show up authentically. And this year I'm being more intentional in my business outreach and planning. So I'm just here to raise my awareness.
Awesome, thank you. Meryl, how about you?
Hi, everyone. I'm Meryl from New Jersey. I am a certified EFT professional, and I guide women to having happier, healthier relationships so they have more joy in their lives. I am here because I feel like I can always learn how to be even just a little more authentic, or I know it intuitively, but how do I maybe share more of that with the world? And then I was also like, I could use some inspiration for some marketing. So maybe some of that'll come out in here.
I'm writing these down. Marketing inspiration. All right, thank you. Pamela.
Hi, everyone. I'm in the San Diego, California area. I am a practitioner of homeopathy. I'm a homeopath. And I had a one-on-one call with Camille yesterday. We had met at a networking meeting last week, and we talked yesterday. And I'm just curious to know more about her and what she has to offer. And so that's why I'm here today. So thank you.
Thank you. Denise.
Hi, everyone. I'm Denise Morrison. I'm in Norfolk, Virginia. I am a physical therapist as well as a certified health, life, and trauma-informed coach. And I help other healthcare professionals who are burned out and done feeling that way. And I am definitely feeling the need to be more in alignment, especially showing up on social media and creating clients and ditching the old icky ways that I learned from other people. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Roman, I know your camera's not on, but are you able to speak?
Absolutely.
All right.
Hi, I'm Roman. I have Reiki energy medicine practitioner. I used to live in Cleveland. Now I retired, live in Portugal. And I'm now teaching Reiki for self-health in college courses here. So just for me, I'm participating because I always love to learn something new.
Terrific, thank you. I just realized we have 3 countries on the line. I love that. Okay, Stephanie, you are next.
Hi, I am Stephanie, and like I think it was Pamela, I had a one-on-one with Camille yesterday, and I'm just trying to soak up and learn as much as I can because authenticity. I joked about this, but it really kind of isn't a joke if you really take it. I spent my whole life wearing masks. Mask, 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 mask. And when I finally got to the point in my life in 2020 where I was like, okay, excuse me, but fuck the masks. Oh, everybody started wearing masks. So that just, landed for me of, okay, I'm finally ready to, but now we're all wearing masks. So authenticity is the only way to have a business in alignment, for me, because I did go, like whoever else mentioned about, the icky ways, right? There's so much of that out there. And I tried it. I, spent a lot of money on that. And it doesn't work anymore, especially not in this new paradigm. So I'm grateful to be here and just soak it up and learn.
Thank you. Dr. Kara.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Kara. I'm in Austin, Texas. I'm a relationship marketer turned naturopathic doctor. So I dabble in a couple different things. I practice homeopathy in a private practice. And then also energy healers hire me to catapult their income and their impact. I help them create inspiring 6-figure businesses.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm here to learn from you, Camille, because my business is not authentically aligned with my life's purpose right now. So I'm here to absorb.
I love that. Thank you for showing. Nikki, you are next.
Hi, everybody. Nikki Gangemi in New Jersey. NLP practitioner, though I call myself a personal trainer for your mind, helping people to have that confidence, motivation, and happiness without the side effects. I am here to learn how to be authentic in conversations, business conversations. I stay away from the sales ickiness, but I've learned that not sharing how you can help does not help grow a business. So how do you do that authentically and feel good about it while sharing that you can help solve problems?
All right. I love that. The ickiness. I'm writing these all down. That's why I'm looking down, everyone. So I answer them all. All right. Sunny, you are next.
All right, I am Sunny. My name is Pei Song. I live in Indiana right now. I guide sensitive and soulful professionals to tune up and clean up so they can speak out their authenticity and send out their good vibe, then can attract the people we're supposed to meet. And I personally has very dramatic shift from scientists into the spiritual being. Well, we are all spiritual beings. It's like how I see myself. I totally shifted. I can see nothing is wrong at this point because that's just me. That's just the lower vibe over me. So I am using the esoteric system to guide people to understand themselves. So then they can choose what they want to show up. It's not saying the low vibe is not me. Low vibe is still me. I still living with my shadows, but I acknowledge them so the shadow can be finally gone. And I using this the way to heal myself. I definitely can help others to see themselves and love themselves more. nice to be here and learn more about how to thrive with our authenticities.
Terrific. Thank you, Sunny. Bev Young, you are next.
Good morning. My name is Bev Young. I do web design and digital marketing here in Vancouver, BC. I help spiritual entrepreneurs and local businesses get more visibility online. And I totally get what Stephanie was saying about the masks, because I did that for a long time and it's exhausting and doesn't work. So it's now time to I've started it, but it's now time to reach out more authentically. And so I'm always looking for new ways of doing it. And at the same time, Nikki's right, there's marketing involved. So, you have to kind of meld the two things somehow.
Perfect. Thank you. Dana, you are next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dana. So I help women, mostly sensitive or empathic, emerging leaders who are looking to step into that next incarnation of their purpose. So really understanding and gaining clarity on what that is. And also embodying more of their intuition, their feminine, and really trusting themselves so they can have full agencies in their decision. And I just found out about this, but the title in and of itself would have grabbed me a while ago, because I think this is where I'm just navigating. I feel like I'm in that process of unlearning a lot of things that don't resonate with me that I've taken on from other coaches and other mentors. And I'm ready to just like really come from my soul with everything that I'm doing and block out everything else that I may have taken on in the past. So I appreciate this. Thank you.
I love that. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, everyone. I'm going back to speaker mode. I wrote down everything you guys said, so thank you. And this, I don't just sit here and present. If you guys have questions or concerns or thoughts, use the chat, jump in, put your hand up, whatever you feel comfortable doing, so we can talk about whatever's coming up for you. But I'd love how a few people talked about, Stephanie talked about wearing a mask, right? Pretending who we are, and unlearning. Dana talked about unlearning. So we'll start there and then we'll talk about some of the other stuff, because I believe that being authentic in your business is really about your self-expression, right? It means expressing your feelings, your personality, your opinions, through your words, the choices you make, but that's really knowing your core values. And when you are very certain in what your core values are, who you work with, who you don't work with, what is meaningful for you, what your boundaries are, and how you approach things, it's easier for you to know who's your client and who's not your client. But I find, especially because I do this, I've been doing this for so long, in my own strategic work, and I've dealt with it as well. It's that hiding pieces of ourselves, right? If you're ever in a room, I feel that way sometimes when I go to some chamber events, I'm not saying all, or some networking groups where I'm like, oh, so I really, I'll say, I don't talk about the soul side of me until I'm really sure that the person I'm talking to is able to honor that. And I'll know right away if they are part of who I am or they are not part of who I am. And I believe most of us here can probably sense right away if people are our people. Not necessarily your end client, but our people, right? People that resonate with who we are, and we feel really comfortable just saying, hey, this is what I do things, this is how I approach things, or even saying the word spirit or universe or soul or any of those words. I know when people use the word like abundance or collaboration, I more and more I'm hearing the word soul. They start, and I those are my indicators that they're probably my people, right? I know that my people, I think I talked about this in the last masterclass. A lot of them know of Esther Hicks, or we've read some of the same books. I think when I was talking to Stephanie yesterday, we talked about The Untethered Soul. If you haven't read that book, right? But I see people's going, yep, right? And we know the things that we have in common, right? So when people talk about them, I can usually say, oh, those are my people. So when you're being authentic in your business, right? We can put this in social media or whatever. You want to use those things. You want to talk about the things that matter to you, your core values, and not to be shy about it. Because when you're being authentic and you're using those words and you're talking about the people you listen to, or if you had a great meditation with someone, or you went to a great program, or whatever it is, and you're sharing that on social media, that's who you are, and you'll attract who you are, because we always attract who we are, right? So if we're faking who we are, those are the people we're going to get, right? The people who are not authentic in who we are. So if you're ever in a situation, this is back to the masking, if you're ever in a situation where you feel that you're hiding a piece of yourself, then you have to question, why are you in that situation? Why did you choose to be there if those aren't your people? And sometimes we're in situations where it's not just about like our business, right? It's about making connections. But part of who we are is making those very intentional connections with people. It's following up with one-on-ones. When I meet someone in networking groups, where I probably met most of you, I reach out to the people that I know are my people, not necessarily to be an end client, but I already know that they're my people. So let's have a deeper conversation. Let's see what else we can match on in life, right? Maybe I can help send them clients. Maybe just inviting them to our networking where they can meet more global people doing things that will help their business is all something, right? So connecting very intentionally with the right people helps, but your follow-up is very important. Having those deeper conversations is important, because I can tell you, I probably meet 20 to 30 brand new people every single month, and I cannot remember the details of every single one. But I remember a lot of details, or if I see people show up a lot, I start to know who they are. I start to remember their story, right? And that's how it works for all of us, right? We're building deeper connections. Hey, last time I spoke to you, your kid was off to college. How did that go? Right? Last I spoke to you, that's a great way to say it. Because it's telling people, I listened to what you told me, and I want to know more about you. How did that end up for you? Right? Even if it's a business call, a lot of times if I follow up with people, I'll be like, the last time we spoke, this is what you talked about. Are things better? Did you come out of it? Can I help you any further? Right? It's just a nice way of saying, I'm listening to you and I care about whatever's going on in your life. That's part of being authentic, right? That's where I think some of the unlearning has to happen. So one of the things I talked about, or I always talk about when I teach, is when I went to business school, which was back in the early 90s, before the internet, we really studied major corporations. An MBA at that time was much different than an MBA today. It was a terminal degree. It is no longer a terminal degree. So it was like, I think mine was like 66 credits, and you had to come out of school for 2 years and be sponsored by a business to be able to get into an MBA program. Today, kids just go straight through, and it's another 30 credits. It's not the same degree as it was. Not saying it's a bad degree, it's just a different degree. But they were pruning us to be CEOs. There was nothing in entrepreneurship, which now we're seeing more and more programs in entrepreneurship and innovation. we studied Disney's a big one. McDonald's is a big one. We still study these, by the way. I can tell you because I'm a professor now, but we still studying, but we study different aspects of them, right? We were being groomed to be CEOs, and I can probably tell you this is a total guess, probably less than 2% of the MBAs in the world become CEOs of these multi-billion-dollar companies, right? We all do other things, but they never taught us to love what we do. They never taught us that you might not be creative between the hours of 9 to 5. You know, they never told us, you know, when you lead other people, find out how what makes them happy, find out about their life, their kids, their children, find out about what they need to make their life better, because that would really help, right? I had to go through life and kind of learn this on my own. By being a mother, I understood when I hired mothers that they were usually very, very talented, but they had kids that they had to worry about. They had sick days, they had school events, they had stuff that happened in life. So as a leader, I always said, I don't care what you need to do, and I don't really care how you work it. Your job, I pay you to do a job, just get the job done. You need to take some days off, your kid's sick, you want to stay home, whatever it is for you, let me know. But that is not what they taught us in business school. Right? Stephanie, I can see your I can see your mouth going, but I can't, your mic is off. So if you want to talk, you're welcome to, but okay. So I believe it's really my role and my mission to bring this new consciousness to the world. When we're talking about businesses, it's how are we breaking down the smaller business, the family business, our entrepreneurship, our solo practitioners. I work with a ton of solo practitioners, and they could be doctors or scientists, but they're also CPAs and engineers and lawyers and all sorts of people that have solo practices, right? And they have to kind of figure it out. That is still nowhere in the school system. It blows my mind, right? I worked for a long time for the Small Business Development Association. I think that's what it's called, SBDC, Small Business Development Center, that literally trains entrepreneurs all the time in these small ways, right? But they still work very much in numbers, right? Numbers are important. I'm not going to say that they're not, right? I think SMART goals are still important. Your SWOT analysis are still important. I still teach all of that stuff, but I also teach it has to make your heart sing, right? We can talk about social media. Let's start with social media, because I know that's a big one for all of us, and being really authentic in who we are. I have paid an enormous amount of money to different marketing teams who told me over the years with this business, I've been in this business, I think 9 years now. You know, I need an Instagram account. I need this account. I need these colors. It has to look like this. You have to say that, like, in all of the things, and you have to post every day, and you need the reels, and you need all of this. And I bought up all of it, and I've spent unbelievable amount of money over the years. I used to say it was a $75,000 mistake, but after my last year, I think it's over $100,000 mistake, because I believed it 4 times. That going big in this way was what I needed to do. And what was real is when I took a step back and said, this doesn't feel good to me, is when things actually started to happen. When I actually broke it all down and stopped. Right. And now when I make a post, it's because I feel like it in the moment, or something struck me, or we talked about it in a masterclass, or in one of our masterminds inside my membership, something came up and it was a great lesson. So I started to go live on TikTok. I do a lot of TikToks, and I just felt it in the moment. So I made a video, or I felt it in the moment and I wrote a post about it. And those actually got more engagement than constantly throwing stuff out there for me. Right. And I think that is the difference in our world when we're coming from this soul place, that we do things that feel good in the moment, and they come off as being more authentic because they are. They are truly more authentic than just being like, I have to post every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and this is what it is, and this one's educational, and this one's a sale, and this one's this. I think for a long time that probably worked, but I don't think it works the same way when we're all doing that thing, right? We can't show up in everyone's algorithm. And for most, what I found, my experience, is for most of the soul-led people in the world, us, we're not on social media constantly engaging with other people. That's just not who we are. But if something resonates with us, we'll probably comment on it. Right? And you are who you are, and you can only attract who you are. So if you're doing things like Instagram, I'm not even on Instagram. So the fact that I paid thousands of dollars a month to have an Instagram account, do you know not one person has ever come from Instagram? I'm not on Instagram, right? In what world did I think that my people were going to start coming from Instagram? It's never going to happen because it's not who I am. Now, I am addicted to TikTok. I don't know if any of you guys are on TikTok, but I learned more through TikTok than anything else in the world because I'm a little ADHD. I'm very multi-passionate, and I love getting things in like less than a minute. I get my world news, I get all of my recipes, I can get my tarot card readings for the night. Like I just flip through, find out everything I need to, and I'm done. But I know not to open that app until after my day has ended because I can't stop, right? But I know that for me, and that's how I do it. So when I started to leave TikTok videos, that worked for me because it was easy for me to turn on a camera and just talk quickly and get an idea out. When Facebook Lives were really, really popular, I struggled with Facebook Lives. And I'm also authorized to do lives on LinkedIn, but I don't do them. You know why? Because I don't watch anyone else's LinkedIn Lives. I never watch them. So I'm like, why would I do that? No one's going to watch me. I don't watch them. Right? So if it's not resonating, don't do it. Right? Facebook Lives, I did watch, but I struggled with actually doing them myself because I can talk like this. I love teaching. I love interacting though. With Facebook Live, I was talking to myself and I couldn't do it. I tried. I used to do like Tuesday at 2 talks, something. I tried it. It did not work because I couldn't talk to myself. Right. So I found it really, really, really difficult. So I stopped. Right. I did like it, but I stopped. I couldn't do it. But I found myself watching it. So if I could have done it, it would have been an avenue. Now, I probably don't watch as much because I think TikTok, by watching TikTok, it shortens my attention span. So I don't watch long lives. Although I did watch Meryl's the other day. And if it's someone I know, I do watch them. That's a little different because you'll probably watch people you know too, right? But if there's things that you're finding yourself watching or getting your attention, those are the things to consider. Would I want to do this? Right? If it gets my attention, it's probably a good way for you to be marketing because you can only attract you. And if you don't know who your ideal client is, it's you 2 years ago. Do I prefer TikTok to YouTube? Yes. And I'll tell you why, because YouTube, I'm talking to myself again. Well, I guess I am. Wait, let me A lot of my stuff is also on TikTok. I mean, on YouTube. And a lot of my TikToks became YouTube shorts, but I did not have the same following. And I did not have the same interaction. A lot of people from TikTok came all the way over. Very rarely, people that I know go find me on YouTube, but they don't find me on YouTube and then come over. So knowing your stats really helps too, right? Both of our, any of our business is both, you know, the soul and the ego, or the masculine and the feminine, depending on what you feel comfortable talking, right? These two different parallels, but it requires both. You cannot be solely in one side or the other. It's not going to feel balanced. It's not going to feel good. But it does require you to know your finances, to know your metrics, to know numbers, to know what you have to hit for things to actually work in your business, right? You just have to figure out if you need to talk to, for me, I always, my goal is 20 people a month. Do I go hunting for them? No. I used to, but most of the time I find them through networking and follow up with a one-on-one, or I get an incredible amount of people introduced to me every single week. I could probably not do any networking and enough people are introduced to me. But that took a lot of work to get to that spot. Yeah, I wasn't always there, right? But that one-on-one is how I bring all of these people in, right? And very few end up as end clients, right? So you really have to know who your end client is. But the funnel that people are coming in has to be very large. And then you funnel them through. But it also has to be something that you're very, very comfortable with, right? I made the mistake of last year when I started these master classes, I used to give my stage away. I let all of my members and other people I know use my audience and do master classes because my mission was to bring other people's gifts to the world. So I figured, let's just teach them everything. It doesn't have to be me. And then last year, I was like, you know, I think it should be me. Like, I think people are actually attracted to me. And that's the problem with my marketing. It wasn't me. I wasn't even writing the copy. I wasn't producing anything. Like, it wasn't me at all. And when I took me out of the equation, that's when things started to go down. But it took me a while to figure that out. When I put me back in the equation, I don't actually have to work. I actually love doing it. I could do this all day long. If people ever say, hey, I need something, I'm like, I'll talk for you. Whatever you got, I'll fill in. I love doing this, right? So for me, it's really easy for people to get to know me. People feel really comfortable. I feel comfortable. It's just very easy. I'm a natural teacher. I love doing it. This is where I go. But for you, it might be something else, right? For me, this is an easy way for people to get to know me. If you're great at YouTube, if you're great at podcasts, if you're great at blog writing, like if you're a writer, if that's your thing, do that. Do what you love to do and then amplify that into your marketing. That becomes your marketing. And even if you're just good at one thing, that's enough. My one thing is connecting to people. That's what I'm good at. That's where people get to know me. That's where they resonate. That's where they feel my energy. That's my thing. It took me a really long time to embrace that though, because I didn't understand that in the beginning. But for all of us, it's actually our thing, right? And then it's how do you get them to interact with you? Because once they interact with you, if you say the right words, they're in. There's no heavy sales call. That's why I don't force convert anyone, because I think that's like one of the worst things you can do is force convert someone, because then they're angry they're there. And you can be the best healer in the world, the best whatever you do in the world. If someone is angry when they're there, they cannot absorb your greatness, right? They're fighting you already, right? So force converting, I can't tell you how many people I talk to are like, I hired this coach and I hate him, her, them. And I'm like, so you're just not showing up anymore? Like, that's a lot of money, right? I can't tell you how many people I hear. I made a big mistake. I spent money on this. It's not good. And I'm like, okay, well, what kind of, I mean, it happens for many reasons. People buy into the wrong programs, or they got caught into marketing that's based on fear, which I'm not a big believer in that either. The fear aspect, because if people come in from fear, from my experience, they want you to calm that fear. They want you to stop. And because I scale people, right? If you're coming to me in a place of scarcity and fear, I can't get you out of that until you've seen yourself in scarcity mode, until we've done so much inner work. All the strategy in the world is not going to help you, because you're just going to say, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. I can't do that. I can't do that. People don't like me. People don't like me. Or I put out the program, but nobody bought it. Right. And no matter what we do, you're going to tell me how you can't do it. And to get someone from there to that next is a lot of inner work. And that's the first thing we have to do before. And if you're getting a lot of people that say, I can't afford you, it's because your marketing is pulling them in. It's the words you are using is pulling them in from a scarcity place. Does that make sense? Right? But if you talk about the transformation that you provide, then people go, oh, I can do that. I can do that. I can do the transformation piece, right? But when you talk about all this stuff that they can't do, they also resonate with that, but they bring that all with them, right? And then, or they don't invest in you, and you spin your wheels a lot, right? Because you haven't proven to them that it's the transformation. And sometimes you'll get that person in a growth mindset versus a scarcity mindset. Does that make sense? Yeah. So the words you use are really important. A great thing to do when you're using words in your messaging, your marketing, even when you talk about what you do, is use the words that people use to describe you. That was really hard for me. I was speaking to someone the other day. I don't even know who it was. And we were talking about like what I do. And she's like, well, actually, you hold space for creative thought. And I was like, I do. She's like, you need to tell people that, because your people understand that. I was like, that's really good. Like I always say, like I'm a strategic advisor, but sometimes the word strategy scares people, right? So you also have to think through these. And then we started talking, I'm reading this because I have little pieces of paper everywhere. We talked about hold space to allow creative thought and authenticity. I hold the vibration for greater possibility. This is someone else telling me what I do. I anchor in what's possible. I amplify their path. That was all from that person. I had this another little one, because literally I write down things when I'm talking to people on the phone. Amplify the amplifiers. I'm a confidant. I'm a thought partner, a dream developer. These are all from other people, right? And I start to write them down because I know that people understand that language, but I have to hear it from someone else. So people say things about you, right? You can look through testimonials. You can just ask. When you think about me or you think about my work, what is it? right? What do you think about? What are the words you use? Or if you were to describe what I do, what does that look like for you? Right? I never even thought to say I hold space, because to me, in my logical mind, because I'm very logical, I'm like, well, do I just sit there quietly? Like, I know what holding space is, right? But for someone who didn't know, and then the thought behind that was, okay, but are those my people? Like, if they don't understand it, then they're not my people. Then they don't understand that whole piece of what I do, of how I can brainstorm. The word brainstorm came up a lot too. People say, I always hear, man, you ask hard and really good questions, or you're terrific to brainstorm. Especially my members, they'll call all the time and be like, can we just brainstorm? Like, I just need to like get this out of my head, which is really my ultra high-end clients. That's what I do. I literally just give them space to say, what do you need? What are you thinking? Let's work on that. Let's work on ideas, the innovation part, because you guys have all of the answers. You have all of the answers. Thank you. Hold on, I'm not even looking at all these. Let me see what you guys are saying. That was me 2 years ago. Beautiful words. Oh, I was reading, Nikki, I'm reading yours. Tell us about transformation mindset was told by coaches to stop. Oh my gosh. Talk more about the pain points. So when they talk about pain points, you want to talk about the solution though, not the pain, like you're fearing this or you're not here. You know what I'm saying? There is a difference. You want to talk about what your solution is to the pain. How are you bringing comfort? How are you bringing the transformation? So as long as you're bringing the solution to that pain point, it's good to know the pain point, but you really want to bring the solution to the pain point, right? I was listening actually to another strategic coach the other day. We did totally different things, but she used the word mapping, and I wrote that down. Workflow mapping. I was like, oh my God, that's what I do. And I was like, I think I need to start talking in that space. And it's really like the step-by-step process to how someone scales their business, right? It's like, okay, you go to a networking event. What do you do with that card? Like, it's that, right? And from that card, does it go into a database? If it goes into the database, is there a tickler file? When the tickler file comes up, what does it do? It's to see where you can automate things in your business, right? And it's, what does the email look like that you write next? What's the email you write after that? Right? When they're on your calendar, what do you do after that? It's the baby steps to everything. It's called mapping. Because when you know what the strategy is, one, you can measure it, right? You can measure the outcome of it, but it's easy to see everyone in flow because you know exactly where they are in the stage. And then you probably know, well, it takes about 90 days to get through my stages, right? Not everyone's the same, but you kind of know the mean, right? There's people that watch me for years, and there's people that watch me for like an hour, right? So it works all over, go over the place. And I always say, you don't know where people are watching you too, right? They come in all different ways. It's just giving them the avenues to do that. So hold on, let me read some of these. Sunny, what's SM? They're hanging out in SM, is looking for solutions.
Social media.
Oh, sorry. Social media are looking for solutions and cannot resonate with positive transformation.
Yeah.
Wow, you know
And-
what?
And also, those social media only boosts when you talk about sharing negativity things, because another coach, he write a beautiful post, it's nobody seeing it. Even we don't see it. We follow him all the time.
Yeah. That's like a lot of my posts, even in the community. If you guys are in the Facebook, like and comment, because I can't get traction because we don't talk about anything. We don't argue or do anything. So none of my stuff gets out there ever. It's crazy. These are what I've experienced in them. Thank you. Okay. Let me just pause for a minute because there's always like 1,000 things going on in my mind. Anyone have any comments, thoughts, things that are coming up for them, things that they've tried, things that they haven't worked, have worked, things that they're stuck in? Anyone? Anything I can address? No, you're all doing awesome.
Camille, I'll talk here. And sorry, I'm kind of moving around because I have to go to an appointment soon, so I have my camera off. It's Dana.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm kind of inserting something else in here, but something you spoke about, and here comes my cat, so you're gonna hear that in the background too. Something you spoke about that really resonates with me is this, doing Facebook Lives and not seeing, like, needing the interaction. That's a huge one for me. And I also know I'm a generator, human design.
Yep.
So like when I realized that, I'm like, no wonder why none of this is working. And I was doing it for years, like trying to do reels and Facebook Lives. And so I said before, I'm unlearning, and it's almost like I'm like, wait, what is my mojo? Because I am a writer too, but it's very poetic. It's not really like the marketing kind. So I love what you said about when you were saying what people call you, you said something for the creatives. And I'm like, yeah, that's who I feel like I draw in too. So even if I am poetic and authentic, people will probably resonate with that. Whereas I was kind of told to stop doing that because I'm not putting a call to action and all this stuff. Like I know there's the in between, right? But it's just, I just wanted to reflect on that because it's really profound hearing what you're saying, because it's exactly the place I've been sitting in the last, even more so this past week. I'm like, wait, why am I trying so hard on Instagram when like this isn't the place I want to be hanging out all the time, So
Yeah.
yeah, a lot.
If you, anyone, when I say you, all of you collectively, hate doing something, stop doing it. Like, there's an easier way, right? Dana brought up human design. When I learned my human design, it was a game changer for me. It took me a while to kind of understand it all, and I still can't say I'm great at it. I'm also a generator, but there are things that I absolutely know about myself, right? And one of the things are, if I'm presented with something, I do not make quick decisions. I need to just kind of absorb it, right? So if I'm in a call and someone's like, if you decide right now, you get this and blah, 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 I immediately go, no, because I also believe the universe will always give me what I need, right? And an opportunity will not ever pass me, right? So I'm a big one, like, oh, gas prices went up. Nope, there's one station and I'll find it that didn't go up yet. Right? Like, I'm like, no, opportunities do not pass me by ever. Right? So that's why I don't force convert, because I can't think like that. Right? And I think people make poor decisions in that moment. So I don't do it to other people. Does that make sense? I'd rather just have the conversation and say, take the time that you need and just follow up. Yeah. And so just think about that when you do it. But you are who you are. And if you like a book, write about that book. Like, I have book clubs inside our membership because I have a book problem. Like, I read so many freaking books, and then I usually write classes on those books, right? Because I love it, right? I'm reading another one for the second time called 10X is Easier Than 2X, which I love. It's about massive scaling. But I love the theory, and then I'm like, how can I break this down into a class for who I teach, like entrepreneurs, right? And because there's a lot of the ego in there, but how do we still have those same so I break down everything. And Napoleon Hill, huge one, Think and Grow Rich. We have a study group going on in our membership right now. But I can, like, if I'm reading a chapter and I'm inspired, I post about it. And if you follow me, you probably see some of them, because in that moment, I'm inspired by this. So I put it up there, and whoever needs to see it sees it, my comments on it. Sometimes I just pose questions for the hell of it, and that's pretty much it. I don't even have a website for my personal business, right? And I know I should, right? Because most people come to me, 97% of my business comes through word of mouth, right? All of you probably met me or this community because someone told you about it, right? Or you met me in networking because I just started doing that, right? Or someone posted about it. We have lots of people that are posting about our networking, and that's how people come through. And I keep saying I should really have a website, right, for my personal work. And I'm always like, well, just go to my LinkedIn page. Yeah, somehow spent almost 2 hours last night posting a reel. The video is already made. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of time spent in stuff that we are not in our zone of genius, right? You have to really know, and I do this a lot in my individual work, you have to know your zone of genius, and you have to really accelerate your uniqueness, because every single one of us are unique in some way. You have a unique ability that no one else has. Think of all the people that graduated from medical school or law school or whatever school, coaching school, right? You all came out with the same information, but yet when we need a doctor or a lawyer or a coach, they are not all the same, right? That's their unique ability, their unique thing, right? That's what you're attracted to. And every single one of us has that. Every single one of us. And that's what we have to get out there, because that's what is attracting others. Like, you have to shout it from the mountaintop. You have to put it out there. You have to be a superpower and just be like, the more I put it out there, the more people see who I am exactly, and you will see things flow to you so much easier. So much easier. It'll be crazy. Crazy. And it took me a long time to learn all of this, right? And I find the less I do, the better it gets, because I love to do all the things. And this year I'm letting go of my podcast. I'm writing the 3rd book, and then I'm done. I let go of a boot camp. I let go of a travel thing I'm doing. Like, I just keep letting go and opening space and opening space and opening space. Because I think that's where the next best thing is. All right, hopefully I answered everything. Business communication, sharing what you do. We talked about that. Using the right words, aligning authentic. We talked about social media, marketing inspiration. Hopefully, Meryl, that helped. Being very intentional, unlearning. I think I talked about everything that you guys brought up. I try to. I don't pre-prepare for all of these. Like, I actually have notes in case I go dead or nothing happens. So I do want to share one thing with you, and this is how much I know about it, because I've just been writing like this, because I've been getting this incredible download, and oh my God, my head is like hurts, and it hasn't hurt like this in a long time. But I know it's significant, and I've been waiting for it. So I have decided so let me start. Most of you guys know that I'm an MBA professor for a local university, and I teach global business strategy. And I've been asked to develop an entrepreneur program around innovation for small businesses and entrepreneurs, and mostly because I went to the dean and like, this is what I want to teach. And if you're not going to let me teach it, I'm going to find a college that will. So, because I think the world is missing it. So as I decided this, I got this like incredible headache and thing. And I've decided that as I'm preparing all of this stuff over the summer, I am going to open up a summer accelerator for anyone that wants to work with me. Personally, I probably can only handle 12 people, I think. And I'm going to do an immersive program as I write classes and homework and everything around mindset, finance, strategy, branding, pricing, client funnels, messaging, cash flow, profit. I have this thing here, workflow mapping, reducing risk, how to do sales, all of this, but through an authentic lens, through a soulful lens, because that is the only way I will teach. And it's going to be a group program plus one-on-one coaching within your business. So it all is immersive in your business. So it's not theory. We're going to be doing exercises that immediately attract you guys. The Authentic MBA. You know, the funny thing is I went through notes and I was like, could I write my own MBA program called the Soul MBA or the Soul Professional, because I own that brand, the Soul Professional one. And I was like, I wonder if I could get it accredited because I'm already an actual MBA professor. Like, and that's how this whole thing started. I've been working with spirit I'm claircognizant, so sometimes I get these downloads, but I have no other information, and that's like the weird thing. So you have to really be opening that to that, because I see what other people can't, and I know that that is my unique ability. Anyway, so I'm going to be offering this. It's going to be called my Summer Acceleration. It is going to start on June 6th and end September 5th. So it's 3 full months of work and classes and one-on-one work, not every week. I don't know how it's all going to play out as I do all of these. The classes right now, I'm thinking I can do Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. If that doesn't work and there's a group of you that want to do a different time, I'm okay breaking with like 2 pods, but I don't think personally I can work with more than 12 people. So I'm going to charge $1,997 a month if you are not a member. If you are already a premium member of NLBP, it'll be $1,797 a month. So literally your membership will be deducted from it every single month. So you're not being hurt by that. And if you're interested, I don't have all the details because I'm still getting this download. My head hurts so badly, but that's what I've decided to do. I was like, you know what? If I'm going to write this, I want to do it with people. I want to have case studies. I want people to be rocking. And that's why I'm calling it my accelerator program. So if anyone would want to do that, you can let me know. We can talk about it individually. We can jump on. It's going to be the first people. I don't even have a web page because it's literally, this is all I have right now. Because I'm going to write it anyway. So it's very individualized for you guys, right? So you are walking out with rocking businesses this summer. You will be the case studies for this program. So if you're interested, let me know. On May 7th, we have a meet and greet. So if you're not a member and you want to learn about what would membership be, because it's cheaper, you can do that too. Whatever makes your heart sing. I'm here. We can always jump on a call as I'm figuring all this out. But like I said, 12 is my max. And if I can do it in 2 pods, I probably will. But right now I'm thinking Thursday, 3:30 Eastern time. And it'll probably be an hour to an hour and a half each time, so we can work through problems and stuff on your business. And that's all I got. All right. If you guys have anything, let me know. I'm going, whoops. Let me stop this recording.